Unit 1, Part 1 of 1.4, which is on percentage. Right, percentage means per 100. Or you can say of 100, and we would simply say that means divide by 100. So 18% would mean 18 divided by 100. We like to convert again from percentage to a fraction, but also from a fraction to a percentage, from percentage to decimal, and also from a decimal to a percentage. Luckily, the rules are very basic and very simple, and you don't need a whole lot of rules. So number one, if you want to go to percentage, then it doesn't matter whether you're starting from a fraction or a decimal. Your rule is the same. You multiply by 100, and then at your answer you write in the percentage sign. So if I have a decimal 0.6, I multiply it by 100, that must be equal to, I get 60 and I add the percentage sign. If I have a fraction like 2 over 5, again I multiply by 100, get a 40 and I add the percentage sign. And these multiplications, it's fine if you use your calculator with that. Right, so getting percentage, whether it's a decimal or a fraction, you times it by 100 and you add the percentage sign. It's also similar. If you've got a percentage and you want to get to decimal or fraction, it's again just one rule. And the rule is just to undo what we did in the previous one. So you remove the percentage sign and you divide by 100. So if I have 65%, if I remove the percentage sign and I divide by 100, I get 65 over 100. There it's in fraction form. If I want to keep it in fraction form, I would just simplify by dividing top and bottom by 5, and that would be my simple fraction. Or if I want it as a decimal, I would just change that to a decimal and get 0.65. Again, your calculator, it's fine to use your calculator there to get those answers. Right, so just know your basic rule and it's simple there. What do we often need to know? We often need to calculate a percentage of something. So maybe I need to find 20% of 180 rands. You would simply say 20 over 100 times 180. And notice I did not put my rand sign. I don't put my units while I'm doing the calculation. But now when I get the answer, remember to include your units again. But in this case, again, if your calculator is user-friendly, you can literally type in 20% times 180, and it should give you the 36. Just remember to write in your rand sign at your answer again. So go and check. If you do this on your calculator and you do 20% times 180 gives you 36, then you know your calculator is fine. You can just use that. Otherwise, just use the other method. You can still use your calculator for that. Another thing that we use percentage a lot for is to determine the percentage change. A simple example, if your landlord says he's going to increase your rent from so much to so much, and you want to calculate what percentage increase was that, simple rule, new value minus old value over old value times by 100. So let's do two examples here. If I increase 65 to 85, 85 is my new value. 65 is my old value. And again, you can do this on your calculator, provided you're doing it correctly. And you will get a decimal answer. I'm going to round it to 1 decimal place, and then you would write the percentage sign at the end. So that's a 30.8% increase. It's simple to know it's an increase. We could see it got more. What happens with the decrease? 50 to 20. Now 20 is my new value. 50 is my old value. Oh, there I made a mistake. It should be times 100. When you calculate this, you will get a negative answer. You get minus 60, you add your percentage sign, and the negative confirms that it's a decrease. So there you go.